If a sponsor came on board today with a 7-figure sponsorship, what's that unlocking for you?
I'm Elle.
And I'm Pat, and we are Paddock 43.
And this is your F1 fix.
I'm sharing a room with my little cousin. He's like 4.
Yeah.
And because he's like, when I came back, he was so excited. He's like, he's got a trundle bed out of his bed. And last night I woke up and his hand was on my face, but it was like moving. And he has like the things on his bed so he doesn't fall out. But somehow he got onto my bed. And then he was like right behind me. I woke up, it was like 1:30 and I'm like, Dominic? And he's like, yes. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know how I got here. And he's just stroking my face. I'm like,
I love my cousin so much.
I'm like, okay, we're going to get back into your bed now. He's like, okay.
Cute. Oh, that's really cute. Bless.
I just like woke up and there's someone touching my face. I'm like, what is going on?
I'm too jet lagged for this.
I love that we're recording right now and we can like easily just like clip that in. I woke up to someone touching my face. What an intro. All right, should we get started?
We should get started. We are back in the studio, not our roving studio, not your house, but the actual studio.
It's been a while since we've been back in the studio.
Yeah.
I do miss it. It's nice to be back and this is the studio here in Armidale.
And eat the lollies. But we have a very special guest today.
Hello.
A special guest that we haven't seen since the Oz GP, who we met briefly. We caught up briefly. We did a little quick 7-minute, wasn't even 7 minutes, I don't
It
know,
was like 3 minutes.
3-minute powwow in the paddock. Welcome, Aiva.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks
how
for
are
having
you?
me. I'm good.
So F1 Academy, it's been a wild ride.
Very wild.
Catch us up before we jump into the full thing.
I did want to say it's Aiva Anagnostiadis,
Sorry.
the our F1 Academy gal.
Everyone would know that there was no way I was going to attempt to pronounce your last name. I was waiting for Pat to jump in with the pronunciation because I'm struggling to even just speak.
I think
English
people
today.
now are just going, you know how Lando's just gone like Lando on his Instagram? They're just like, you just need to get rid of the last name, just go Ava. Like,
But
Yeah.
it's iconic. It's special. Like it's your last name.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
I love it. No, so how you been? been
Good,
happening?
busy. Obviously, we've had the season start up. So went to China. China, we scored points straight off the bat, so we were pretty happy with that.
And China was straight after the Oz GP as well. Yeah.
I think we had the testing week and I flew from there to Oz GP, had the week in Oz, and
That's
then flew
right.
straight back there. So that was a bit of a hectic 3-week go, but
A good taste of what's to come, I guess.
yes,
Yeah.
it kind of taught me everything for the year. Then we went to Jeddah. Jeddah was hard because it's one of the
Heat.
fastest circuits in the world, street circuits, and then you've got 45-degree heat. I think it got to the point where we got under safety car and I just started getting sweat in my eyes. I'm like, this is what they talk about on the radios when it's like dripping out of their hair, the F1 drivers. I'm like, I'm experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
It was a hard weekend, but you know, we'd learnt like quite a bit from it, and then we took it to where was after Jeddah? Miami.
Yeah.
Miami was cool. Miami, it was like the atmosphere and everyone. I love the US, so
Yeah.
like then to go race there, I was like, oh my god, this is sick. And like you had all the fans coming around the paddock and everything, and like we had to get escorted to the bathrooms. Like I just kind of think about like we're technically F4 drivers, like we're at the start of our like careers,
Yeah.
and we're having to get escorted to the bathrooms because the amount of like people that are fans. I did the old
That's so
phone
cool.
trick and stuff. I was like, oh no.
Well, I guess.
Oh, that. Right, now I see. That's why the F1 drivers do that. They go.
They just grab their phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Netflix documentary came out during Miami, didn't
Yeah.
it, as well?
They
so,
did the whole
Yes.
kind of release. I think it was released in the US first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was a bit upset because I couldn't watch it. My Netflix didn't
Oh,
calibrate to
true.
US.
Excuse
so-
me, any VPN companies out there listening?
Yeah.
I think we need to get a little sponsorship going on for you.
Yeah.
Have you watched the series?
I finished it in the we did the UK launch. We
Yeah.
watched the first 2 episodes. Then the next day I got home and I finished it.
Wow. What did the girls all say that were like featured on it?
They were all really happy with it. I
Yeah.
think I was really surprised with how it actually turned out because I was scared in a way because I was like, I don't want them to take this in the wrong direction.
And I'll let you finish, but I was also nervous.
Yeah.
I was like, this could go one or two directions,
It
and
could
I'm
be
scared
really
how
good or-
people will react. Like if they see girls competing against each other naturally as females, we get pitted as certain
Yeah.
bitches.
Mm.
Then if we
I don't
have
want
a
to be too
teal,
dramatic.
we look
Yeah.
crying, and when we're drama queens and stuff. So I was
Yeah.
Yeah.
worried. I thought it was good. Yeah. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, that's why I was literally scared. I was like, if they show like too much of like behind the scenes and like the Formula One, I think it's very it's dramatized. Like
Yeah,
we kind
of
of
course.
know as drivers what it's like behind the scenes. Or like if they go a bit too more than that because we're females, like it's not gonna be great. But I watched the first 2 episodes, and me and my teammate was sitting there watching it, and we looked at each other. We're like, this is actually really good. Like I want to keep watching. Normally I'm on my phone multitasking with Netflix, but I literally sat there and just like watched it the whole thing.
That's great.
And I think it's good for us, like the rookies, kind of watching as well, because
Yeah.
we can kind of see
An
what
insight
it
into what you're
went
getting.
through, like they went through, and what Abby kind of did after she won and everything. And I think we kind of learnt from it in a way as well.
Yeah.
For us, it was good like that, but I think it's doing quite well.
Yeah. It's been
So-
good. I mean, I've really enjoyed watching it.
I think everyone's had positive things to say. So
Yeah,
That's
it was
good.
done really well. Are you filming as well for? Oh no, okay. Oh.
got a piece of paper I had to sign.
I don't. We don't know what that piece of paper says, so we'll just move on and
Just move on. But so, well, I think before as well, we properly get into the episode, we like to do something called the warm-up lap.
Yep.
I don't know if you've heard our warm-up laps before, but it's basically your most embarrassing story.
Oh. In racing or just in life?
Just
life, that's acceptable. We
whatever
have
feels
definitely
good.
have had people say like, I have one, but I can't say it. It's going to the grave. So I'll say this one instead.
I don't know. I don't have anything that I just haven't told anyone about that I've done. Oh,
Well, you
you
may-
know,
you may
I
have
was
not told
driving
us.
to. I was like back in the karting days, and I was driving to I think Queensland with Dad, and we used to like tow everything and take everything ourselves. And I was looking in the paddock, and like there's sheeps and cows and everything, and I was like, I looked at
the actual farm paddock, not the F1
Yeah.
paddock. For anyone looking to clarify that little moment.
I think I was looking at a kangaroo or something, and I'm like, oh, look, Dad, it's a cow. And he's just looking at me, and then I said something else, and then I was looking at another. Like I was completely zoned out at this point. Like I was,
Were you jet lagged?
I landed off a plane, but I was like, I have travel sickness,
Yeah.
so the tablets that they give me for the next like 2 hours, I'm completely out of it. Like I land off the plane, and I'm like, oh, this is like really cool. Like I'm like spaced out. Like it's like I've been like drugged or something. So I was looking at everything, calling things different things, and then I had to meet someone. And we met up at the service station, and we're like having a conversation, and he said, oh, my name's Jared. Blah, blah, blah. I said, hi, Jack. I shaked his name, but I was so confident with it as well. And I was like, and then Dad just.
Did they just let you go?
Yeah, they just let me walk off, and I think he was like, oh, yeah, hi. And then afterwards, I kind of, an hour and a half later, Dad's like, you were calling things the wrong name. And he's like, you didn't even realize. I was like, oh. Okay, so it was like a really important sponsor person, and I just
Oh
like,
my God.
Oh.
yeah.
Well,
Called them by a completely different name.
Yeah.
I have 2 things on that. Recently did that with Travel Calm as well. I
Yes, that's what I
spaced out
heard.
so much on a plane that when we got on the plane, and I was exhausted from a week of work. Oh my God, rewire my brain today. And got on the plane, and I must have just zonked out right
Yeah.
away. And when I woke up, I was dinging the thing, and I was like, why haven't we taken off? We're going to miss our connecting flight. Like I'm full telling the flight attendant.
You just go like bonkers. Like it's like you don't know
I was
anything.
like, you have, and the girls like that were sitting next to me that I was working with, and this is for Miss Universe as well. They're all looking at me like, what is wrong with this girl that's like, shepherding us around?
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're going to miss our flight. Like I have to get these girls on the next flight. Like you should tell everyone. And then like I felt a bit of turbulence, and I looked out and I was like, oh my God, we're in the air. And they're like, yeah, we have been for 2 hours. So I was like, shit. But interesting, you get travel sickness.
Mm-hmm. Bad, like really bad.
Okay, so
Wow.
I suffer it really badly as well. How do you go driving with travel sickness, like at high octane
You're in
speeds?
I only
right?
get it in planes.
Okay.
Boats, I'm fine. Helicopters, fine. It's literally just the airplane. I don't know. Even when I get to the airport, like I smell the airport, I'm like, no, that's it. I'm out.
Okay,
It's
there you
weird.
go.
It's
I was going to
really
say,
weird.
because sometimes, like, for me to counter it, I have to be in control. So I remember being in
Yeah.
like a 4-seater
So you have
little-
to drive the plane.
Yeah, little plane, 4-seater little plane, and I was filming someone behind me, and I got really, really motion sickness, and the pilot was like, the only way to get rid of it so you don't vomit all over us right now
Yeah.
is you have to fly. So he taught me how to fly.
In the air.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
That's a lot of trust.
Oh yeah, no, the guys are in the back and they were just like, we did not sign up for this. Like,
If we die, we're saying something.
Yeah, no, but the pilot said to me, he was like, it's a control thing. So I was wondering if maybe that's something for you as well when you're driving, because
I think
you
my
are
dad
in
has the
control.
same thing, even on boats. Like we're on a cruise, and we used to have like a boat that we used to take out like in the peninsula around there, and he would drive it and he'd be fine. And we went on a cruise. And he was sick the whole time. And he's like, I need to get up in the box and just sit there and I'll be fine. And I was like, yeah, well.
Just like a finger on the wheel.
Yeah, literally.
But, okay, so let's kind of turn back. So you're in Miami.
Yes.
After Miami,
Canada last week.
last week. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. I mean, we scored double points. We had, I think, nearly 2 top 10 finishes. Last race, I had a bit of an incident, which was out of my hands. So you know, it was bound to happen at some point. So at least we've got
Do you feel like
over
it was
and done with.
like, obviously no one ever wants an incident, but to just get it off your chest, like
Yeah, I
one to
think
happen
I've
and just
never
be like,
had a crash into an open wheelers like at all. So I think because it's my first year, so I haven't raced like pretty much anything. I did India last year, but it was quite spread out, so it wasn't much like passing and stuff. So I think to have that now out, and I kind of know I think when you're racing and you haven't had an incident, you don't get as close as you probably would want to. So I think now that I've had it, it's just like next round it's going to
you
be.
kind of know what to anticipate. Yeah.
How does it feel?
I got winded because I hit her like flat foot at, I was coming out of corner passing Courtney Crone, and then I think Matilda, she spun and whatever happened, and I looked up and I was just flat stick straight into her. And I think I was at like 135, 140 at that point.
Wow.
And I just sat there and my legs were kind of tingling, obviously, because I had a bit of shock, and I got winded. And the guys just look at me, you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm like, I'm not going to the medics, I'm fine. And then I hopped on the moped and I did the little moped back to the paddock.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was in a bit of shock for like a minute or so. But I think it was more just like winded than anything. I was kind of like, what just happened?
Do you guys get taught how to deal with the shock of a crash?
No. I think if you're driving yourself and you're pushing, say, the limits and stuff, and you're going to go off and and you can't save it, then, you go brace and let go of the wheel and you just kind of hope for the best.
Yeah.
But
So what's break?
because if you're holding the wheel and
You
say
can break
you
your
hit-
wrist.
Come closer.
Yeah, if you're holding the wheel and you say you hit the wall, you're going to break your hand or whatever.
Which is what I
So-
learned in F1 Academy with who did that happen to last year?
Was it
One of the
Samantha?
sisters?
Oh,
One of
no,
the
yeah.
sisters, yeah.
Humda.
Humda.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she broke her wrist.
Yeah, she broke her wrist, and I think that is like if we can't save it, and you got to give yourself at least 5 seconds before you hit the wall, and then you just let go and just
Isn't that why
Hands on
Daniel
chest.
Ricciardo broke his wrist as
Yeah.
well? When
yeah, Zandvoort when he
Yep.
hit the wall because
Yep.
he just didn't let go. So just brace and hope for the best.
defensive
Brace
driving.
and hope for the
There's-
best.
There's this debate going around Melbourne at the moment on very traditional 3AW media that no one else our age listens to. But that when you get your license now, should it also be a requirement that you do a defensive driving course to learn how to
think so.
learn how to crash or what to deal if you crash, even just on the roads? Because so many people, might be driving on, and we have potholes everywhere, like how to
Yeah.
avoid them and not crash, or like if someone is going to crash into you, what you have to do and stuff. Do you ever wish that you learned how to do a defensive driving course?
Well, I feel like if you're gonna crash, you probably shouldn't have your license.
No, but like, you know what I mean. I'm not like saying like let's go out and play Mario Kart and go bing bang bing bom boom. I'm
I don't
learn how to react.
I think-
Yeah.
Course.
I think
don't
a
know, is that
little
what
I
bit
you
guess
think
like
course?
brace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I have my learners. So like
Yeah.
on the road when it's very different. Like I realized
course.
very quickly that it's a lot different driving on the road than thing. And when I had to drive, I drove to Albury, which probably shouldn't because it's 4 hours instead of 2. And anyway, time limits. But I drove to Albury
statute of
with my
limitation.
mum, and back, and the Hume Highway and stuff, it can get a bit rough.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of times where I hit like potholes and stuff. I was like, or like this is
Different. To
Yeah,
what
it's
you're used
different.
To. Yeah.
So maybe, I think maybe it should actually be a thing because like it just teaches you how to, if you're
Yeah.
going to go on those roads and stuff, and our roads aren't slick like they're.
Also, it's like more the other people. Like you
Yeah,
can be a great
it's-
driver, but someone next to you might not know how to drive or whatever. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The driving here to Europe is,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think I've realized it's a lot different.
I feel like there's such a high standard over there. Like they can squeeze through the tiniest streets and just like,
And the highways, we're doing like 160, 170.
Yeah.
And I was
And there's
coming
no
back from the
crashes.
airport, sitting at 60 Ks on the highway. I felt like I was crawling. I
Yeah.
was like, this is ridiculous.
yes.
Well, welcome to the
Oh my
nanny
gosh.
state
I remember once I was in
Victoria.
Greece in this tiny, like I remember I was so mad because Peter didn't come to pick me up from the airport. I was in this little taxi that felt like a shoebox. And this man, I was like, I swear he's showing off. I was like, well, I'm going to die. Like I think like we almost, I don't even like maybe 160, 170. And I
Yeah.
was like, this car is literally a tin
Yeah,
can.
it just sounded
yeah.
going down the highway.
No.
Hey, so I want to take us back,
Yeah.
right back to the beginning.
Okay.
When was your I want to be a driver moment?
I think around 11 or 12. That's when I actually like fully committed.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, when I first jumped in karts, like I loved it. Like that's when I just fell in love with the sport and wanted to do it. But it was more another like hobby that I was doing on the side of what I'm going to school or dancing. And dancing was till 11 or 12. Like I think the whole family thought she's going to go do dancing, like
What type of dance?
jazz, contemporary,
So she's got rhythm.
acrobatics. Oh, not anymore. If you see me, I look like a robot.
Oh,
Surely that
we can
like,
have a
lives
little
within
dance
me.
off afterwards and question that. Pat once said to me, "It's because you don't have rhythm."
But that's kind of like where I was heading in a way. And I was also swimming as well. I was in the squad swimming. Like I was very just doing whatever. But competitive dance is what I think mum and dad thought I was going to do. And then I was karting while I was still dancing, but that dance always took priority. Like I would have ballet on Saturday morning, so I go there, and I think I have a photo of me with my go-kart jacket on, but I had my leotard and my skirt and my leggings on underneath, and I was rocking up to the track. And
that's so good.
it was just like, this one cannot make her mind up with what she wants to do. And then it got to the point where I was leading the club championships in karting, and I think that's where it kind of I just stopped wanting to go to dance. Like I would miss.
How old were you at this point?
10.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just started, I don't want to go. Like, can I just go home? I don't want to, I can't. And then I think mum was like, okay, she's not loving it anymore.
Yeah.
And then I was leading the kart championship, but I had national championships for dance with my team in the Gold Coast the same weekend. And I had to be there for qualifying to win this championship. Otherwise it was done. So qualifying was on Sunday morning. The nationals ended Saturday night. So we flew a red eye Sunday morning back to Victoria. I made qualifying by 2 minutes and then qualified, whatever. I think we were like third or something. Anyway, I sat down in the trailer afterwards. Mum and dad are like, okay, we're not doing this anymore. You're going to have to pick one. I was like, I want to race. And they kind of just looked at me like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm done with dance. I want to race. And then like I still danced up until I was 14, but it was no more competition. I would just go during the week because it was just something to do. Yeah. And then I stopped that, and then I would just do acrobatics because I liked flipping around and stuff. And then then I just slowly I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore full time. I wanna do this. I want to commit. And then we started going over to Europe and just fully committing as a whole family as well. Yeah. Because I have my brother James who's doing amazing things now, but he started from 6 as well, and he just went the whole way through. So I think it's just been kind of brought up in the family, but we've also fell in love with it as well.
Yeah.
So,
and because you come from a karting family as well, your parents were both sort of in that world, right?
Yeah. Mum started when she was about 12.
Yeah.
Her dad owned a kart shop, so my nonno, he owned a kart shop, and actually the go-kart was for him, but it lasted about 2 weekends and then it was mum's.
Yes.
So he ended up running the kart shop. She would go to the track and race. And then dad from 15 was mechanicking for mum because mutual friends and stuff. And
Oh, that's so sweet.
yeah, so they've been together since they were 16 years old, and he's mechanicked for her the whole way through.
I love that.
Yeah, it's cute. And then obviously they stopped, got married, had kids, had a bit of a life, built a little bit of a life for themselves, and
You're
then
saying drivers don't have lives?
oh well, not when it's the female. They have to stop for a period of time. Yeah. But she went to go to cars, but didn't have the budget, so she couldn't pursue it anymore. So they had kids, stopped, and then Dad brought a go-kart back for her when I think I was about 5 and James was about 3, and then from then on in, every weekend we were at the track.
Wow. What track was it? Oakley?
Oakley, yeah. So same as Oscar. We actually, when Jack and Oscar were like racing karts, I think Jack was and Oscar both, because they're in the same category, were in juniors when I was in like cadets. So we were kind of we grew each other up at the track together. Like obviously I was like 6 and they were like whatever 12 or 13, but they were there. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. But I think to see them now where they are, and then knowing that, you know, you've come through the same kind of way as what they've done, it's kind of a motivator in a way, because, you know, okay, well, I'm doing the same thing and they've done it as well. So it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah. What were the early days of karting and competing? Like, what did it look like for you?
It was more state and kind of club meets. Obviously we're learning, and then you go to nationals and you do the Australia's national championship, which is the top. But it was from straight away, I think we were like, we want to win. There's nothing else but winning. Yeah. And I think I hit 12, and then I was in the kart from 7. So, you know, I had a couple years, and then when I wanted to take it serious, then we went to nationals. And then from, I think 10, I was with Tom Williamson, he's got his race team. So I've been with him for, I think, nearly 10 years now. And from there, as soon as we joined up with him, it was just nationals and
based
full go. Yeah.
I'm always so in awe of kids from like the ages of 5 to 10 that just know they want to go all in with something and then just go for it.
It's kind of
like I can't. I remember. I barely remember that age, but I think I just cared about getting like a milkshake after ballet. Yeah, because I had to be at ballet. Like it was never like, this is going to be my. Or just
like I think I had like 20 different professions. I will be a vet. I will be.
Yeah,
this,
exactly.
Yeah.
Was there ever a moment that you like? I mean, obviously you stopped doing the dancing as much, but was there ever a moment in your motorsport career so far where you've just wanted to give it up and you're just like, nah, it's too much, or you want to pull back?
I think even now sometimes when you have the hard weekends over, like you get into, it's hard starting in Formula even now, because it's like grassroots again and you got to learn it all again. So it does get to the point where like if you're going bad, and then like we had Canada last week and we were like, okay, we're getting there, like we're getting in the top 10, like we're actually getting to a point and it's kind of a relief. But during that time, you're like, you do second guess yourself sometimes, and you're like, is this, like, am I actually good enough for this? Like, am I, like, I'm putting in all this effort.
Yeah, I was going to say you are.
Thank you.
You are.
We got very passionate on our episode last week about that.
Yeah. But you get in your head, but it's normal.
Yeah.
It's like,
so you do kind of second guess yourself. Did I pick the right thing? Is this what I'm meant to be doing?
Which is probably like, speaking as a 31-year-old, 32, sorry, 31 at heart. We speak about that all the time.
Yeah,
We've lived like 10 different lives, and every single day it's like such a normal thought for us, being like,
and there's such a big like sacrifice for the family as well. So it's like, my whole family's pretty much packed up, sold everything and moved overseas for me and my brother to pursue this career, which you've pretty much decided at age 8 or 9 that, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, and just lock in.
Can you imagine doing that for Gabrielle?
Oh my gosh. I mean, if he said we're moving to Italy, I'd say, yes, we are, Gabrielle. Come on, Peter, off we go. Go to Italy.
You can build your life here.
Literally. Yeah, we'll make it work.
But yeah, I think at some points, I think the whole way through it's normal. I think probably the F1 drivers probably have the same thing.
Of course.
Like you struggle and you second guess yourself, but then what makes us get this far in the career is just getting back up and going again. And I think that's motorsport's probably biggest kind of learning thing for even my age. Like we've had to grow up quite fast. Yeah. And I think it's quite a motorsport thing. I think the kids seem a lot older than they are, because you have to start talking to management teams, and you have to start creating a profile for yourself, and you're 15 years old and other 15-year-olds are going to school and coming home doing their homework and playing basketball on the weekend, and we're trying to manage social media and doing all this stuff. So I think you put all this effort in, so you just want to keep up and keep going, and then, you know, you have those thoughts, but you got to brush them aside and just keep looking in.
Yeah, because speaking of social media, it was mentioned in the first episode of F1 Academy when they were talking about Bianca and her social media, because obviously she has a huge presence online, and that has benefited her so much. A lot of the other girls are just like, I don't like it, and that's very normal. Some people, they just want to race. Hello, Max Verstappen, like
the king of that.
king of that. But do you yourself ever find it a distraction? Because there is also so much pressure that comes for just your average Joe on social media, especially being female, and then knowing that you need that to get sponsors to keep going as well.
I think it's big for us because we don't have a big budget to deal with. Like, I have not been able to test all year just because we don't have any funding. So I'm going race meet to race meet, just hoping we're going to progress. So compared to some of the other girls where, you know, the field has, every girl's got a different budget and backing, and, you know, you got F1 teams and all that jazz. But I think watching the Formula One thing and watching Bianca, you can kind of see where it kind of goes a bit too far in some aspects. But then at the end of the day, I read a newsletter thing that she had done on her, and it was, she said, I think I spent a bit too much time with my social media stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm funding my GB3 seat for next year. Yeah. And it's like, you have to learn how to, for me, I'm trying to do as much as I can, because at the end of the day, it's going to start bringing in an income, and then that's going to go straight to my racing, and then hopefully at the end of it, opens doors, opens opportunities for me to be able to get in a car, and then I can start making an income as well with everything that we're doing. But
and then people invest like in your personality as well, because they want to follow your journey as well if they see you.
Yeah. So I think I've had to learn quite quickly how to balance it, because you have to, depends what brand you're working with, and you can't post and what's too far one way. You can't post this that way, and what image you want to represent. Like, it's just, and being a female is a whole nother kettle of fish.
That's why I'm asking.
You go to the gym and you can be in a sports bra and shorts, and you post that, and someone will go, oh, she's not wearing anything. And then a boy wears a pair of training shorts and no shirt, and it's just like, oh, he's at the gym. And it's like,
it happened to me at the gym. I was in my crop top and bike shorts the other day.
Yeah.
And a man said to me, I go to a gym at a tennis club, and he was like, you should probably put a top on when you're working out in here. There was no one else in there. He'd just come in from the pool. Guess what? He was fucking working out in Speedos and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And I was like, how is that appropriate?
That's like the hard struggle thing, because even when we had glamour on the grid at the Grand Prix, there was that fine line where I'm 17, 18. I have to look mature, but I can't be going around with a dress that's short or too much
speech
showy.
From the Barbie movie right now.
Yes, that's pretty much what it's like. But it's social media, like the whole world's watching you. So it's just like that kind of thing you have to balance as well. And then I've got tags, so I've got to kind of
show your wrist all the time.
Yeah, that is the hardest thing to pose with. Oh my goodness.
But also that's such a high-end brand, which is also amazing that they're a sponsor of yours.
It's incredible.
But it's something that you want to feel elevated with as well, and to show
and you
want
to present them well, and you want your page to look, okay, well, she's professional, and she's like, it's a high-end brand, so she's got to look high brand as well. So I think those kind of things is where it kind of can get a bit distracting, because you're like, oh, even when you wear what you wear to the track. I used to rock up to the go-kart track in a pair of sweats
and ballet
socks. Yeah, but it got to the point where I was in like, I would sleep in my clothes the night before.
Oh, I had like is that not normal to do? I do that.
I would sleep in my track clothes the night before, and then just roll out of bed and walk out in my caravan. And it got to now I'm like, I have to get ready. Like, I have to get ready for the track. There's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, I have to like uphold this image. And it's like, that's like a whole nother thing aside from racing. I used to wear these Talladega Night socks and walk around with my slides on. Like, I did not give it crap in the world. But now it's like, okay, you're professional. You got to like, there's people watching. So
there are people
It changes for the good and the bad, but you know, it's part of the job now. So
part of the job, it's true. I was going to ask, kind of circle back to what you were saying, and just for us and like our listeners to get more of an understanding. So you were saying how obviously you need budget to put towards, you were saying, to be able to test.
Yeah.
How, like, can you break that down for us? Like, how exactly does that work?
And the costings of it, because I think that's what a lot of people don't realize.
Because it's like we understand that it does cost a lot of money, but like how, you know, let's say you're in a series and then you want to go and test? Like break it down, dumbify it for us, please.
So the F1 teams have their own thing. I think they'll pick you to be a part of their academy, and then I know the Red Bull funds the girls, so they don't have to pay anything for the series. So for sponsor cars and stuff, I think it's a bit different for everyone, but I know we have to pay that amount for the year, and then your tag will pay a certain amount, and F1 Academy puts on another amount to cover the whole fee. So, you know, it's a lot more affordable than any other series, which is, say, Italian F4, a seat in Prema in Italian F4, I think they sell for like 1.2 million euro. So
that's crazy. And that's just
and
to
they're
buy
like,
your seat for the 12
Prema's
months.
just an example.
Yeah, but that's for your seat for the 12 months, right?
Yeah, that's not testing. That's not everything on
Then
top
where does
of
that
it.
money? Sorry, that money. Like I
Yeah.
know it goes to the series, and obviously that I assume like there's things like people that work there, and then prize money and all that. But then, for example, the cars that you're driving, like does that money also kind of
Tires, fuel.
Yeah, tires, fuel, like that money kind of goes into that as well.
And then if you want to do extra sets, it's extra sets of tires. And then if you want to do extra days, a day of testing can range from 7,000 to 15,000 pounds or euros with whatever team you do it with. You know, you got your Premier, you got your ART, you got those high tech that are top notch teams, which you're gonna pay for your performance of the car in a way.
If you were saying like in 2 weeks I want to go and test in Barcelona,
Yeah.
you would pay that sum.
Yeah, but then it also adds on if you want to go to a track privately, you have to hire that track, and then the expense of the track. Silverstone is about, I think, 50,000 a day to hire it to go privately testing. So
But do they ever like get a few people out at the same time?
yeah. So they'll get like teams out, and they'll let everyone know, okay, we're going here. Do you want to split the funding? So F1 Academy is following the F1. You get 12 test days on top of it, and then also the exposure and everything you get as well.
Yeah.
So that's that. The testing. So for us, we don't have a testing budget. I did 3 rounds of the Spanish at the start of the year, winter series, which was my pre-season kind of thing, which at the end of the day, we kind of looked back at it and thought maybe we should have done testing instead of the racing, because my racecraft is fine. We need to get more speed. So we were looking back at it now, we probably should have done test days instead, but that was my budget that as a family we had, and we were like, you need to do race. We knew we had the F1 Academy seat in December, so we were like, we need to get in a car before, because I hadn't been in a car since October. So I went straight into a race meet again. And, you know, it's everyone knows that's involved in motorsport. If you just go straight into a race meet at Portimao, which is one of the hardest tracks, it's not going to end well.
Yeah.
It's not, you're going to get beat down, but then you're learning at the same time. Like, you got kids that have been in the car. Some kids do 150 days of testing before they even jump in a race. Wow. So you're battling with talent, and then taught talent that's been at the track for 200 days plus before they've hopped in, and then they'll go to the track and be like, oh no, I haven't done any days, when you can tell that we've done days. So say F1 Academy is probably the lowest budget racing in Formula cars. Then you've got F4, which the British and Italians probably your pinnacle. Everyone knows Italian F4. Then you got Spanish and British, which is probably the top 3. And then you got your kind of cheaper series, which you got the Czech, and then you got even Indian F4. We did that, and it was because it was cheap as chips for the racing and the time.
Were you living in India?
Oh no,
no. Okay,
it was.
You just fly over to
back and forth.
Yeah.
And then now you go F3, which I think the budget's because F4 is going up so much, then everything else goes up.
Of course.
So then you've got F3, which is probably double F4. Then F2 is double F3, and then F1 is just, you know,
F1.
whatever.
F1 is just,
If a sponsor came on board today with a 7-figure sponsorship, what's that unlocking for you?
Probably a pathway into Formula One.
Yeah.
I think, it'd be life-changing. I think the struggles, females mainly struggle in the sport because there is no funding and backing. Yeah. Like, you rarely have a female that's got the money to keep going throughout the sport. And I think that's why you don't see many females in F2 or F3, because you had Sophia Flourish. she did what she could do, and then she did a good job with what she had. But she's no longer can continue in F3 because she just hasn't had the backing to support her. And then when sponsors don't see anyone in F1, any females in F1, anyone in F2 or any F3, they're like, oh, well, what am I going to get out of this? Like, there's no one for
Get
them.
so much out of it.
Yeah. Like
do you think it's like it's the sponsors' fault almost then because they're the ones that's not backing the females to get into those spots? They want males?
I think it's kind of just at the end of the day, they've got to put however much money they want, and sometimes it can be hundreds of thousands, and they're like, they can't see the result. They
Yeah, 'cause
can't.
it hasn't happened yet.
They
I think
haven't
that's-
seen anyone actually succeed, so they're kind of on the line board. Like you have a bunch of sponsors that you can get borderline about to happen, and then I think they kind of look into it and they're like, oh, I don't know, like they're spending a lot of money, but I think that's where you need the sponsors just to jump on board and hope, like just
But also, what better
fingers crossed in a way.
story as well to say, like, look, we have one of the first females that are coming up the ranks in how long? Like the last.
Lawrence Stroll has a real opportunity here.
He does. I know.
Honestly,
Come on, Lawrence.
like,
Petition to Lawrence
Please.
Stroll.
Like seriously,
Come on. Reach in
Like-
that pocket. There's a lot in there.
He's got the pockets. We all know what we feel about Lance. He's got an opportunity here. He could do something good here.
Someone take Lance's seat. And do you know what? Someone would be very grateful to take that seat.
We had we interviewed Chloe Grant a couple of months ago, and she was telling us how she tested better than all the boys one day, and it was to get a spot in F3.
Yeah.
I believe it was from
Boy,
lost my
four or
memory.
something, yeah.
But yeah, she even though she tested the best, she got outbought by all the boys.
It is, I think motorsport is one of the most political sports there is. And I don't think many people think it actually is. Like people from the outside, they just get into Formula One and they're like, oh, I don't know why Hamilton left here or this happened with that. And it's like, there's so much going on behind the scenes that you don't even know. Like this was done months in advance and it's just coming out in the press today because they have control of that. So I think like you go for a test somewhere and the spot can already be decided before you've even gone there. You can go spend the money to go do a shootout somewhere and it can be 20 of you, but they've already signed the papers with who they want job. It's just everyone's there for the gimmick and the show. So,
which is then why you need to build your social media and have that added pressure because you're like, we're trying to also compete on that. It's like who's going to look better for the sponsors.
Yeah. And I think
this is a little bit of pressure for you young gals. Wow.
I think there is a lot, but it's just a part of it in a way. It's just something you have to, cop on the chin and just do the best that you can. And as long as we're putting everything that we can forward, I think that's all we can really do and just hope that, the sponsors come on board and join you with the little journey that you're on and back you through it.
And I guess that's the beauty of F1 Academy as well and getting that exposure and the Netflix series and think of like Drive to Survive has just gotten bigger and bigger each season. More and more people are coming on board to watch it. Yeah. First season of F1 Academy. Next season we'll be seeing some new faces. And I just think like it's just going to get more and more exposure for the girls and we're going to see it. It's going to happen, like we're going to see people come up the ranks. It's just a matter of sponsors jumping on board.
How intense is the competition with F1 Academy? I think because you're racing against your friends as well. You guys are all in this together.
Yeah, I think it's normally I've noticed kind of stepping away from the karting with girls. I think going through that, everyone kind of thought there's one spot and it was kind of you'd be on track with all the boys, but there'd be another girl in the field and you'd always want to beat that other girl more than you'd want to beat the boys. But because I think the mindset kind of girls have is there's one spot there. And I want that one spot and I'm competing with you all. But I think now with the academy, it's kind of shown me, okay, we're going to kind of work together because if we get more than one of us in that spot, it's going to help everyone else get through. So I think some of us are trying to kind of realizing that and it's a bit less kind of hectic and competitive off track than on track. It's just you driving, you got your helmet on, no one really cares, no one thinks about it. But when we're off track, everyone's still kind of nice and humble and nice to talk to each other. And it's just like it would be in a boys' karting paddock, which, to be honest, I haven't experienced with girls through motorsport. I think it's always been you talk and smile and say, oh, hi. But then I'd always go hang out with the boys because you were competing against that one girl. But now that there's more coming through, I think it's changed quite a bit as well. the grids on the F1 Academy, I think every year is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger because obviously you have the rookies coming through and the girls that are getting trained at the grassroots are getting more technology and more everything to get better and better and better. And the field's just going to grow. This year, the times are quite close. Everything's quite close together. So the racing's really good. You know, you've got Dorian Pan who just she pulled it in UAE F4 against the boys. So you've got that margin. You know,
So good.
you had Abby pulling at the top 3 in British.
Yeah.
And she was winning in thing. And then you can kind of, when the girls are still running against the boys, you kind of, all right, she's running there. So that's where we would be around. And it kind of helps you scope out still where you'd be against the boys because at the end of the day, we're there for 2 years and then we're back with the boys. So you kind of have to measure. But I was really surprised with how hard the actual grid is this year.
Yeah. I was going to say on that as well, do you think that there's still like an unfair perception that boys are faster than girls or that women aren't as fast as?
I think there still always is going to be a little bit of that. I think it's motorsport. It's taken
Which
a
is
while.
so frustrating because it's not like we're running.
Yeah.
It's like you're in a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in a car.
Yeah.
We train double as hard to be as strong as the boys. And I
Yeah.
think that's one thing I think people don't like to hear because, you know, there's that whole thing, well, females and males are the same. But I've got my brother growing up, he's 14 and he just woke up one day and he's got the same strength as me and I've been in the gym 7 days a
Yeah.
week, twice a day.
It's like our body composition is different.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Because you're all in the same cars in F1 Academy as well. So it is an even playing field.
Yeah.
Whereas in, say, F1, which we said this last week, F1 Academy is not F1. People need to stop comparing it.
Yeah.
Like it's an academy. Like
Yeah.
that is the name. But you are in even playing fields and cars. Whereas the other comps, they're not. It's what you can afford
Yeah,
to put
like
in the car,
every
right?
team has their setup and, you know,
Yeah.
one can be better than the others, whatever. But at the end of the day, the car's a Tatus F4. It's
Yeah.
not Aston Martin's F1 model,
Yeah.
Mercedes F1 model. Like we're all the same chassis base. So it's everything that goes around and the team, obviously. But yeah, I think some people sometimes go, oh, you're in F1. I was like, no. I'm not in F1. I'm in F1 Academy.
Yeah.
F1 Academy. And what about, are you like already thinking about F3, F2, F1? Like what's going on in your mind with that? And what are the next steps?
Honestly, just what's going to happen next year. I take it year by year.
Yeah,
I mean, I think every driver's like, all right, I want to do F3, F2, F1. Like that's my plan. But doors open, opportunities come. And if an opportunity comes, say, to go drive a GT car, you're going to jump at that opportunity because you might not have another one come through the door and go, oh, I was waiting for F3, but it never arrived.
Yeah.
Bianca's kind of doing that now, isn't she? She's just, I think, become a reserve driver for FE while she's also training.
A lot of the girls
Yeah.
started, even Abby, I think, got
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah, so they're doing 2 different types of series.
Yeah.
there, aren't they now? Yeah, so you can look forward and do 2 different things as well.
Yeah, I think Ella Lloyd's got that as well. So I think you just as a female, you got to grab onto anything that you
Yeah.
get. So if you get an opportunity F3, if you get an opportunity GT3, Formula E could be an electric scooter, but you just go and ride it.
Yes, I will do that. Absolutely.
Do you ever feel like, you know, you are Australian, which we always say, like, whenever we touch on F1 Academy, we're like, got to support our Aussie gals, Joe and Aiva, they're here. So you are competing against another fellow Aussie. Oscar Piastri's obviously doing exceptionally well in Formula One this year and could be reaching big heights by the end of this year. We're not going to jinx it, but we're going to touch wood.
Yeah.
Do you, I want to ask Joe this question as well, together or individually feel like you have to face the pressure of being a face of motorsport for females in Australia right now? Is that ever like play on your mind?
I think for me, because I've always been, even in karting in Australia, I've always worked with Karting Australia with their kind of media things, and I was always kind of the female, not to like chuff myself off or anything,
No.
but I was always one of the females that would run up the front, so I'd go represent stuff for them. So I think it's in karting, it's kind of just natural.
Natural.
Like, and I don't really think about it as well because I don't need any extra pressure as well. So like
Sorry,
the job
I shouldn't have asked that question.
no, but the job I do is going to be the job I do at the end of the day, and whether that's enough for Australia to be happy or whatever. But
We're happy.
We're happy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you,
On
we are
behalf
happy.
of
We're so-
Australia, we are happy.
yes, we're so proud. It's
But I think also it's such an honor to be able to show the girls growing up here that there is possibility for us small little island to be able to go compete against these guys in Europe. And I think it's a bit of a jump from what we have here to going over there. Even they're doing a karting champions academy at the European FIA Championship, and I went down to watch my brother, but they had also Annabelle Kennedy that was running for Australia representing, they all kind of represent each country and it's equal go-karts anyway. So she was there and I went and talked to her and it was kind of cool to see. She knew who I was. I'd never met her before. And it was okay, well, yeah, pat on the back.
Yeah.
But to be able to go and support her and help her and be like, oh, we're Aussies, we're going to stick together. Like, I think that's one thing. All the Aussies that go overseas, we all kind of work together and stick together no matter what team you're in. It's just you got the Australian flag next to your name. We're going to work together and help each other.
Well, we're so far away.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it's
but
like
that's
it's
what I-
like you've come from far away.
That's what I love as well is the fact that, you know, it's like pretty common. You'll see like 2 British drivers, but the fact that there's 2 Australian, like it's amazing.
it's such a big thing as well. And I
such a
think
big
looking
thing.
at it, it's like, I think every driver wants to be, oh, like I'm the one, but it's like to have
You
2 of us in that
even
field, like that's a
better.
big deal.
It's huge.
Yeah.
With it's only 18 cars on the grid. It's not like it's a karting thing where it's like 120 entries. There's 18 cars and we're 2 of them.
Yeah.
I think we're so used to, as Aussies as well, seeing just one Aussie in a mix of group
Yeah.
of internationals, and especially in motorsport, and then obviously a lot of Europeans.
Yeah.
So when I first saw, I can't remember who was first, who was announced
were
first. I
first.
think
Me,
you-
yeah.
yeah.
Ava, yeah.
I remember thinking, whoa, an Aussie made it. And I was like, woo. And then Joe got announced. I was like, shut the
2.
fucking front door. What?
Yeah.
They accepted 2 of us?
Yeah.
It's kind of like we all band together like, what?
I know. So
I mean, the same thing happened with, you know, when Jack was on the grid, but yeah, Jack and Oscar as well. It was like, 2?
Yeah, I was so
What?
surprised
Yeah.
with that as well. And I was like, are they going to keep Ricardo? Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
is there
no.
going to be 3 Aussies on
3.
the
I was
F1
Like,
grid?
no, there cannot be 3. That like
Yeah.
that balance is way too far. Like too many of us.
And sadly that didn't happen. But that's okay. One day it will. Maybe we'll throw one of the girls or both of the girls in there. And
Exactly.
so, okay. So you've just landed from Montreal a couple of days ago. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling the jet lag.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I dropped my matcha and I was just like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah. You did drop your match. That's all right. Elle can barely talk either. But so what does the rest of the year look like for you?
So these 2 weeks I've got a bit at home. I got Sydney next week, which I love Sydney, so I'm happy to be there as well. Then I go back and it's just full prep for Zandvoort. Then we have Singapore and last round in Vegas,
Oh, so
which
exciting.
I've done 2 of their karting meets growing up there, and it's like next to the street where they do the F1 race.
Wow.
We did the car park circuit, and they do kind of the same thing. So to now be in the F1 Academy going around the
crazy.
track, it's like I've just stepped up completely. And
Yeah.
I've always wanted like a Vegas helmet going through, and everyone would.
That'd be
Some of
so
the kids would do like the Vegas helmets. So I think
Oh, wait, do you get a new helmet at each race as well?
no, I've
No?
only done my one.
Okay.
I think I'm saving. I don't know. I'm tossed up between Singapore and Vegas, but to do a special one. But I think
Yeah.
Vegas
Vegas
is
is-
winning at the moment.
Yeah. Especially because I think Singapore's, I mean, it's iconic, but like, who knows if Vegas is going to be there?
Yeah,
forever.
it's like I've always wanted a Vegas helmet, so
That's exciting.
might be coming out.
I
at the
wish
end of
we
the
had
year.
like money, Pat.
I know.
Not only to like go to Vegas, but like just to be part of a helmet.
Maybe you can
as
get
well.
like a. Yeah, that'd be cool.
No, just like it'd be
sponsor.
cool, like seeing you drive at Vegas and then like,
Just Paddock.
but yeah, like make us like look like the Louis Vuitton sign, like we're going fast with you.
It's like a little Mario symbol on the side
Yeah,
of it.
Mario and Luigi on the side.
It's Pat and I either side.
Oh, how exciting.
That'd be cool to have. Now I wanted to ask as well, dream team and dream teammate.
Ever, like
Ever.
anyone. Dream team. I feel like I would say Red Bull.
And Max Verstappen.
And
See you at
maybe.
Red Bull.
Yeah, I know. I could see me in Red Bull
Yeah.
colours too. Just letting everyone know.
Nudging the mic, yeah.
Either Verstappen because I love Verstappen or Senna.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd just be sick.
Yeah.
But then I think everyone wants to drive for Ferrari at some point
Absolutely.
because Ferrari's
Especially
like,
you're half Italian.
yeah, exactly.
your blood.
So,
What's the quote again?
Everyone wants to everyone wants to drive a Ferrari.
Yeah. I feel like you've got to at some point in your life.
yeah, exactly.
And if you could steal anyone's skill and strength to aid your own,
Maybe Senna's driving in the wet because I need a little bit of help in the wet.
Yeah.
And you know how Verstappen, he can just find 3/10 in qualifying just out of nowhere? Probably that. Just be able to find that like last little
he's a
bit. Just be
superhuman.
like, they'll just tell him the time and he's like, okay. And just goes and does a faster time. So maybe that.
He's a superhuman. So I want to know, have you got a pre-race playlist?
Oh, my pre-race playlist is just whatever song I'm vibing with that week, to be honest.
Which is, what would your current one be? What did
my
you listen
one
to
that
before
I've been-
Montreal?
Oh, it has been like, you know, Luther with Drake and SZA.
Yep.
That has been on repeat a lot, but it's just more like techno stuff.
Techno.
Yeah, I play Luther at, like before I'm getting in the car because it's a bit more chill, but the rest of it is just like both headphones in full blast.
I feel like you need that upbeat music.
Yeah, we sit around for like 6 or 8 hours in between races, so it's just like you put the headphones in, you're like, ooh, yeah, you're ready to go again.
6 or 8 hours. It's a lot of time to get distracted.
Yeah, well, in Montreal, we had to get in the cars. Say the race started at 11, we'd get in the cars at 10, drive around to wait for the Porsches to finish. We'd be able to get out of the cars for 10 minutes, sit in the cars for another 20 minutes. I think we were in the cars for a total of nearly an hour before the race started.
Gosh, jeez.
And it's just like, you could tell you like your mental coach that, and they're like, how? Like, how do you get mentally prepared for a race an hour before just sitting in the car? I was like, I nearly had a nap at one point, but.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. All right. We're going to close it up though now. I'll close it up, finish it up. So if any girl that's listening to you right now and dreams of being in motorsport, what's like a final message and what's something that you wish someone had told you?
I think from me, still kind of like, I think I say this quite a bit, but just don't worry about what everyone else thinks and of what you're doing or with anything, whether that be your training, your driving, anything involving the motorsport kind of area or just life. Because I think as females, we kind of worry about too much what other people think. And I think that's kind of what the boys have a little bit over us, that boys just
Don't
say
care.
jump off that. They'll just do it, and girls will kind of second guess. So I
Because
think
we have comments.
yeah, we have brains.
Yeah.
Sometimes a bit too much.
Yeah.
But I think just don't worry about what other people think, because it's just going to like hinder your performance at the end of the day. And I think for me, I'm still trying to like overget that and overcome that. And, now I'm on the F1 Academy, kind of everyone can see everything that I do. So I've had to learn to just, who cares what they think? I'm here for me. And this is something that I want to do and pursue in my career. So I'm just going to give it my all.
Love that. So good. I think that's great advice for honestly anyone that's listening.
Yeah.
Like,
I love when you ask that question, because whenever you ask that question, whoever answers it always gives like
Take
a
away a
very,
nugget.
something that you can apply to anything in your life. It's always a nice little finishing moment.
yeah.
Now, Pat and I always finish our episodes with our red flag and green flag of the week. So what's something that was like, I guess some people call this an orange and a lemon.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
what was your
positive and
lemon? What
negative.
was your red flag of the week? And what was your green flag of the week?
This last week.
Green flag, coming back home.
Yeah.
Definitely seeing my family and stuff. Red flag, nearly missing our connecting flight to Sydney and running through the airport and then getting to the gate and then going, oh no, it's delayed, you're fine.
Oh, when you're sweaty, like,
I swear that's such a common Australian thing.
Oh
It's
my
like the
God,
most
it's
painful thing
horrible.
ever.
well, especially it's connecting flight. You're like, no.
Yeah, and it was like we got to Sydney. I was like, we just have to get back to Melbourne.
Yeah.
And then we're like running. We're waiting for the bags an hour. Then we're running to the thing, and the lady's like, 2505, and we're 2507. And she's like, oh no, you have plenty of time. And we're like, Are you kidding me? Like, we just sprinted our hearts out.
Quick one. Who do you fly with normally?
Australia is normally Qantas.
Oh, no. I mean like sorry.
Oh.
Should have clarified. Family members. Like, who do you
Start of the year it
comes
was
with you?
mum, which was strange because it's always been dad. Dad's mechanicking for my brother now, so it's whatever he can come to for me.
Wow.
But now it's dad for the rest of the season. So I don't know. He's convinced that because now he's there that the results have gotten better magically because dad's arrived.
Of course.
So yeah, maybe it is that. But yeah, dad now.
God, it'd be like rock, paper, scissors.
Who do you
gets
prefer?
the
Like,
flag?
who do you have one that's like, oh, that's a good luck charm, or
If we're doing well, like through the season, then I'm like, okay, mum can come because it's quite chill. But if we're struggling, then I'm like, I need dad here. Like dad's more, even with my brother, it's more rock up to the track and okay, he's mechanic now. Like he's not your dad.
yeah,
And when he comes, dad's been in the sport since he was 15. So, you know, he knows his stuff. He's been a mechanic on normal cars as well. So he's more of a driver, coach, mentor while he's there. And then when we go back to the hotel and okay, he can switch back to dad mode. But when we get to the track, it's more like, okay, you're here to help me perform and everything. And I think it's kind of brought us closer together in a way because you've had to learn how to switch between the two and become a mate than your dad. But then at the end of the day, it's kind of created a good bond because I can be mates with my dad as well as not only just be my dad.
Yeah.
Mum is just more like, I can do no wrong.
Love that.
So
My mum would think
I would probably like drive into someone and she'd be like, oh no, that was their fault. I was like,
Oh, bless.
okay, but it wasn't. Sometimes I think more of the time I need dad there, but it's good to have them both there when they can be.
I love that. Nice. Beautiful. That's been such a great interview. I think that's all we've got time for today. I feel like we could speak to you forever.
It's just been so nice to have you here as well because
Thank you.
watching your journey, you know, it's only been 3 months
Yeah.
and so much has happened already.
Yeah. I know. I was thinking 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Like what's to come
it feels
over
a lot longer than
yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 6 months left of your first season. 6
Yeah.
months? Yes.
Yeah,
5,
yeah.
5 months?
Five. I
5?
think.
Yeah.
And then hopefully everything goes well for next year as well. Like it's just, you kind of like in the beginning of a new season of life. It's very exciting to see.
And just
especially,
learning every step.
yeah.
I love that.
It's great.
Well, sponsors, if you're listening, please jump on board.
And then if anyone wants to sponsor us to sponsor Ava's Las Vegas helmet,
Please, yes.
That's a good
Yes.
idea.
we would
Yeah.
like to be invested into that and have
Yes.
our little little moment.
You can wear like your merch on the side of it, just jumping in the side.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've got, I don't know. And like, oh, if you're watching YouTube, you'd see me do that. I just realized, but like anyone listening was probably like, "What the fuck are they doing?" Like, we're doing like Running Man. I don't really know why we're doing it, but yeah, it's so exciting. I wish we could come to Vegas and watch you.
I know.
God, we need a
I
seven-figure
think we need to
sponsor.
set it up.
Yeah.
We need a 7-figure sponsor, guys. Come on.
We do.
I'm sure there's one out there. I'm sure there's big things to come.
Yes.
Thank you guys for having me.
But thank you so much. And thank you everyone for listening. And if you have any other questions, well, you know where to follow Ava. You will find her on the socials.
Instagram, TikTok,
Instagram, TikTok.
YouTube.
All the above.
How are they
Threads.
finding you on what's your handle? Do you want to read it out or should we just put it in the show
It's
notes?
literally just my name altogether.
Okay.
Aiva Anagnostiadis. Do I show it on the?
We'll put it in the show notes.
put it in the show notes.
So everyone, or a camera.
There-
There you
there
go.
she
If you're watching. And don't worry, everyone. We'll put it in the show notes if you are listening because I suck that I cannot pronounce your last name, so I'm not going to try.
You'll learn. Anagnostiadis. Ava. Everyone remember that name because she's doing amazing things. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here, Ava.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next week. Make sure you like, subscribe, all of the above, and follow Ava.
Yes. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.